So Kamala Harris is the VP pick, one of the most important VP picks in a very long time, because she could become the president. Because in my opinion, Joe Biden's incapacitated. He doesn't know what time it is. He doesn't know what year it is. He's talking nonsense, and the pressure is only going to build up to the election. And if he wins, which he could, this is going to be your president, so it's a very important choice. Now, what I want to do is I want to get your guys' opinion in the comments to say if she benefits Joe Biden, if you like this pick, if you don't like this pick, if you're willing to vote for him because of it, if you're not going to vote for him because of this or whatever it is. So we could get an actual poll in the comments. That's very important. I'm going to get some opinions. If you don't know too much about Kamala Harris, you're about to find out. Some of our friends here know a thing or two. Monica has some interesting things to say about Kamala. What are your thoughts on Kamala, Monica?
I think that's a terrible pick for a few reasons. First of all, she is not from the swing state, so she cannot attract voters from Michigan and Wisconsin or any other swing state that Joe Biden needs. She's also a California senator, so she doesn't have a cross-party appeal to Republicans. And thirdly, if you want to attract Bernie voters who are like very left-wing of the Democratic Party, she's a centrist, so she can't do that. And they have a very patronizing view of Democratic voters. They think because of her immutable characteristics, like being a woman and woman of color, people are going to automatically flock to her and vote for her. And I think it's very patronizing, because if people of color only cared about what their politician looks like, they would have chosen her in the primary, but she had to drop out because she had no support behind her. And also, like, she had very terrible policies as Attorney General, where she locked a lot of people for smoking weed, and she had a truancy policy where she sent mothers to jail because they couldn't send their kids to school because they had to work, and she laughed about it. She never apologized about it. She flip-flops on a lot of issues, so I do think it's a terrible pick, but just me.
I didn't hear any good news about Kamala Harris and things like that, but why do you favor this pick?
I'm honestly a little neutral on this. I think a little contrary to your point, that as a woman of color, she's just the representation that brings to people, just for someone to see a woman that looks like them in a position of power, and that sort of position of power is important for a lot of people. However, the Democratic Party and people of color, women, are not a monolith. They're not just going to assume, oh, this person looks like me, so I should vote for them. She has flip-flopped about a lot of issues, and her flip-flopping makes it seem like you don't really know who she is as a candidate or as a person. It seems like she just kind of says whatever is going to get her elected or get her more votes, which as a politician is probably a very good thing, but as a voter, that's not what you want in a person. And there was something else you said that I kind of wanted to go on, but I'm blanking. In general, I don't think it wasn't truancy. It was something that you said about her. This was it. So I do think, honestly, though, the biggest thing going for her is that she's not Mike Pence. As a woman, I can't stand that person, and I think that, honestly, Joe Biden would have had to really fuck up his pick to get someone that couldn't go against Mike Pence. So I mean, to me it's more of a net neutral than a full positive, but it really would have been hard to be a negative thing considering who she's up against. So, and also, one more thing. I also think that I don't think the Democratic Party is trying to get for Bernie bros or even the minorities and women like myself. I think the Democratic Party is trying to get center right voters to their side, and Kamala Harris is just that politician. She's just that center right moderate that they're going to go for.
Okay, so we got a slight net positive there. We got a net negative over here, and we got.
We're gonna go net here. I'm not a politician, but I will give you my opinion, my 2 cents. As an American, I have the right to do that. But I think you do raise some great points. Is it a good choice for the vice president? To be honest, I mean, Biden seemed pretty set on picking a female as his running mate. And out of all the options, there's Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, and the other lady, Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, I do think Kamala Harris was the best choice that was available to him. So I think she's someone that could play ball with Trump and Pence in these debates if they do happen. So it's kind of his muscle. Biden, I don't think he's going to be really up to bat there. He's not going to win. It's not so. It does give him the best possible chance. I'd say he could have rally up some African American votes, get the female votes. So, from a voter's perspective, this could help him. But in the election, we'll see how much it actually.
Okay. Well, in the election, we'll definitely see exactly what the aftermath of that is. My personal view is that when I look at Kamala Harris, I'm not just looking at a VP pick that's going to sit there and hold a banner up. This could be the next president if this guy, takes a shit. Let's call it what it is. And You know, if that's the case, I don't want this to be my president. If you're voting for Joe Biden, you have to vote for a 50-50 President Kamala Harris, which nobody wanted to begin with, because she would have been the primary winner if that would have been the case. He could have picked somebody that wasn't running, somebody this and that. So for me, it's a net negative. It's, Biden shooting himself in the foot. It's just like Sarah Palin, you know what I'm saying, when McCain, he thought he was a maverick, and Hillary was running, and it was Obama, so he thought he was going to get the vote, and this, and putting a completely different person there that nobody wanted to begin with, and saying that this is what it is, and at the same time, McCain was old too, and people were like, yo, what am I getting involved in here? This little cowgirl, is going to be my next president, sputtering and muttering nonsense. Kamala Harris, if you ask me, I don't know much about her, but the stuff that Monica was saying, Attorney General, this, that, she made it. She made a great career for herself, and she has to be talented to accomplish that, and I'll give her that much. But to me, she is a little hacky, a little disingenuous, and I wouldn't trust her at all. You know what she looks like to me? She looks like that mean high school principal that doesn't give a shit about what happens to you. She just wants to go up in the ranks in that whole system, and she doesn't care, who gets crushed in the wheels while it happens. But let Boris finish to have the last word.
All right. Well, in my opinion, comparing Kamala Harris to Sarah Palin is like comparing like a Albert Einstein to a monkey. Sarah Palin is just in a completely different level than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, she was Attorney General, and I have a number of points. The reason why I have these toys right here, this Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. She's laughing at a lot of people right now. But the reason why I have them is because the Democratic Party, unlike the Republican Party where, Mike Pence had to kiss Donald Trump's ring and bow down to Donald Trump in order to become his vice president, the Democratic Party does things in a little bit different of a manner. Joe Biden, he gets consulted by the former president, the former secretary of state, party leaders all over the country. He has discussions with a lot of people from a lot of places, and he determined that Kamala Harris was going to be the best vice presidential pick. And on hitting back on a point that Monica made, she said that because Kamala Harris is not from a swing state, well, the alternative is Joe Biden is from a swing state. He's a Midwestern guy. And because he's a Midwestern guy, he's going to pull in a lot of those voters. So the reason to choose Kamala Harris has to do with the fact that for the past 70, 80 years, the African American community has been holding down the Democratic Party every single election. And anybody on stage in this election that sees the three white men that are rallying to be on the top of the ticket are now going to see an African American woman who's been attorney general, who's a senator, who's she speaks well, she has a laid back manner, she's not very uptight and very high strung like you might think, stereotypically think of a lot of female politicians. She's very laid back, she's very comfortable in herself, and that's why I like her.
All right, the only thing I say to that is, listen, three white men, just pick the people who are the best. If they're white, if they're black, if they're this, if they're that, just pick who's the best. It shouldn't matter what they look like or anything like that, but if it's three white men, it's three white men. If it's three black women, it's three black women. Whoever's the best should get it. That's my opinion, but whatever. We've all heard. Now we want to really see what's going on in the comments to see what the larger scope of this is. We don't have a cross-section of the United States of America there, but it'll be good enough. Remember, this is Trax News. We have new members in a panel every week. Whoever wants to show up or whatever it is, get in contact with us, join our organization, read the description, check the ledger, see what's going on. You could be a part of the news, and we're going to try to create a new narrative for this nation.